Hello everybody, I am Gamma here with Sugar Cube Radio. Today I'll be doing a review of My Little Pony Season 3 Episode 4. Basically, I'll be giving a summary of the episode along with some highlights, and then at the end I will give it my rating out of 5 stars. Though I'm going to do things just a bit differently for this episode. I'm going to start out and summarize the whole episode really quick, and then get to the points that I feel are more important after already seeing the episode. So this episode is on the rather overused topic of bullying, but as usual, the creators of the show managed to keep it fresh, keep it good, keep it fun. So this episode introduces Babs Seed, who is Apple Bloom's cousin, and it turns out they're both blank flanks, so they have that in common, and the Cutie Mark Crusaders decide to bring her into their group. Though they quickly discover that Babs is not such a nice little filly. She sides with Diamond Tiara and Silver Spoon and becomes quite the bullying problem.
Oh yeah? Well, there's more where that came from.
Sweetie Belle wants to just tell Applejack about the bullying and get it over with, but Apple Bloom and Scootaloo do not want to be tattletales, so the bullying just keeps getting worse and worse, until eventually they come to the only logical decision.
Well, it was yours, and now it's mine.
And obviously that solution is revenge. They sabotage their own float so it will drive itself into the mud pits of the lake, knowing that Babs won't be able to resist the beautiful golden apple and will kick them out of it, driving herself into the mud. But just when the CMC think they have executed the perfect revenge, they realize they've made a big mistake. Turns out the only reason Babs was bullying them in the first place is because she was bullied like crazy in Manhattan for having a blank flank, and she just wanted to be on top of it for once. Whoops. The CMC realized their mistake and rushed to fix things by replacing Babs with themselves in the magical golden apple that is plummeting to the mud. So because of that, Babs realizes that even though she was a total not nice person to them, they helped her out anyways, and that maybe she shouldn't be bullying them. After both realizing their wrongdoings, Babs and the CMC start anew by initiating Babs into the Cutie Mark Crusaders, and they all live happily ever after. Now onto the actual review part of this review. As I mentioned, the topic of bullying is a bit overdone, but they did a really good job with it. As usual, I love the episode and just about everything about it, but the things that stood out to me the most were the little bitty details that some people might have missed on their first watch. Really early on in the episode, when the CMC are waiting for Babs to arrive, they're like freaking out, and it's really adorable, but Scootaloo is freaking flying, and Sweetie Belle uses a little bit of magic right here. And I like flipped out because these characters are actually developing. I was originally afraid that the Cutie Mark Crusaders would never really do anything, because once they get their cutie marks, if they get their cutie marks, that's either going to be the end of the whole series or the end of any importance to their characters. So the fact that they are actually developing is really a surprise to me, and I really like it. Another thing I really loved about the episode that I didn't take much note of my first time watching is the foreshadowing. I love foreshadowing, and right at the mention of cutie marks, Babs freaks out and uses her tail to hide her blank flank. And it makes sense, it's good foreshadowing. She's used to being bullied about her cutie marks, so she doesn't want to talk about it. She just wants to stay away from that subject.
Oh, yeah.
And there's the scene where Babs goes bad, and at first I honestly kind of hated this scene. I thought the episode would just go downhill from there, because there's so many obnoxious little girls in TV shows now. I didn't think that this show needed any more than Diamond Tiara and Silver. Now I've come to really like this whole idea though, because it puts a rather new spin on bullying. Sometimes the bullies are only bullies because they were bullied, and they want to try being on top for once. And did I forget to mention this episode has a song? Goodness, I've been waiting so long for the CMC to have a good song. Obviously they had their talent show debut thing, which was supposed to be bad, and then they had their song on Hearts and Who's Day, which I honestly completely forgot about until someone reminded me, and I was like, oh yeah. So obviously Applejack and Scootaloo have improved their singing, but still, this whole scene is just so trippy, animating stuff happening. I love it so much. Really catchy song. I've heard some of the best fan music come from this piece of music. The more I listen to it, the more I like it, and the harder it is to get out of my head. And that's basically all the specifics I wanted to point out, except for one last thing. What the hell is Pinkie Pie on in this scene? And I don't mean the float. She's just being weirder than normal, and it's funny. I'm used to Pinkie being weird, but this is just like, I don't get it. Like, what is this? Calm your face, Pinkie. Maybe they took the wrong one. Oh well, it was still funny.
Seriously?
So my rating for this episode, 4 stars. Overall, it was a really good episode, better than I originally thought it would be, but there is a few really minor things, which is why I docked the star. One thing that really bugged me for whatever reason was just the placement of the episode. I felt like I guess it's technically the 4th episode in this season, but I just felt that it was too soon for an all CMC episode because it's been so long since we really got in touch with the main 6, and I feel like meeting them again before going back to the CMC. And then there was the issue of Babseed's accent. Apple Bloom and Applejack and most of the Apple family have a really kind of cute fake Southern accent. It's obviously really phony, but it's pretty adorable in the way they do it. But Babs, something about it just really rustled my jimmies. I don't know what else to say. It was just kind of... I felt like they could have done better. It reminded me a bit too much of Snooki for my comfort. But obviously, I didn't dock a star for reasons as small as those two things. The main reason I took it is just because it wasn't as good as the last episode. The last episode, Too Many Pinkies, was debatably my favorite MLP episode of all time up to this point. So it's going to be hard to beat. There might be getting a lot of 4 stars just because unless it hits that par again, I feel like it's not as good as possible. But anywho, thanks a bunch for watching. Remember to comment, rate, subscribe, all that stuff. It really helps get the channel going. Once again, I am Gamma, and this is Sugar Cube Radio.